titillate the juices. You know what? Woo! Right now. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Dr. Hughes invites followers. Oh, let's see if they increase now. Me too. Yeah, wow. Dr. Hughes.
Mock-ass mock.
He's a great podcaster.
Trick-ass mock.
Acknowledge me.
We coming for you, nigga. Fat! Yeah, Dr. Hughes, here we go. Keep plugging yourself, that's cool.
First up, a man whose looks will serve your inner needs and desires.
Dr. Hughes.
That's right. Dr. Huge back again. Memorial Day weekend, huge weekend over here, Danny. Shout out to Danny Damage once again joining the show. And who knows, maybe Reezy will show up and hang with us. Maybe not. You know how that works. No sleaze this week. He must be celebrating. He must be in memorial all weekend long. Like Jason Voorhees after he attacks all the people. I'm telling you, I'm watching AEW earlier this week, and it really, this John Moxley fella, he came out looking like he was going after some teenagers. The way he
can't help himself.
Yeah, more on this later. I mean, this John Moxley stuff, I mean, it disgusts the doctor. And I'm sure it disgusts you too. I think we've talked about it before, but we always got to repeat ourselves, especially to everybody in here. Like Paladin, shout out to you. He's here. He's here for the Yeets. Yeets. Man, there's so much to talk about. 3 pay-per-views. I guess tonight's technically a PLE, a paid event. So we got that. We got AEW. They have a Double or Nothing. They're always gambling on these pay-per-views. They're all in. They're Double or Nothing. You know, you get it. I get it.
And plenty of money to throw around.
Oh, throw some this way, Tony. I will totally shill for AEW. I'll watch. I watch some of it here and there. Again, we'll talk about this later. Am I that excited for this pay-per-view? No, not until Tony pays me. Shout out to Philly Sports Pride as well.
No yeet.
No yeet. He's no yeeting out here. He wants Logan Paul to win, I guess. Yeah, that's second on the list that we're going to talk about. But first, you got to go buy my album, listen to my album, go on Spotify, all this stuff. Get liking and retweeting and sharing on YouTube and things, especially on YouTube. Who knows if this X is even working? I don't even know if it's working right now. Maybe it's not. But yeah. Also, thank you for watching. You guys are the best. You guys are the greatest wrestling fans out of the bunch. Anybody that's watching exactly at this moment in time or listening in the future right now, if you're listening, if you're watching, you're the best in the world. And it's because you hit QR codes, you go to my store, you make it easy for me so I don't have to like plug and pitch and all this stuff like all these other podcasts do. We don't do that here, Danny. You know, not that much anyway. A little bit. If you want to,
smidgen.
Yeah, if you want to like help out the show here and things and make it go on forever and ever, then yeah, do that stuff. Get some shirts, get some cups. By the way, before we get any further and really get into this wrestling business, I gotta tell everybody, because you know I'm the head of the corporation of Dr. Huge show over here, and these Teespring items that you may buy off the store there, it takes a while. I ordered some myself, I believe in April. I'm still waiting. So they'll be here eventually, guys. So if you've ordered anything, just keep on waiting. There were some people like, yeah, I got it before whatever that last pay-per-view was, Backlash or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you're not going to get them for that. You know, it's going to take way longer than that because they're printing it. They're doing all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't have time to print shirts. I'm too busy editing stupid fucking shorts. Go check those out, by the way, too. All right. I think I'm done plugging, Danny. So, you ready for the hardcore wrestling talk for all these nerds out here? All right, nerds like ourselves as well. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. That's happening, folks. Steel cage match, because this really hasn't gone anywhere, in my opinion. It's just been, they've been beating up each other back and forth. They're getting more pissed off at each other. It's another one of those. We've seen that a bazillion times, right, Danny?
Yeah, like you say, it's not going anywhere. It's the only place it really needs to go is Drew just wiping the floor with Damian Priest, but that's not what they're booking this for, I don't think. Like I always say, Priest needs to look tough. It's the new project, and yeah, Drew's going to get thrown under that bus.
Does it make sense to beat Priest twice like this? He's going to get beat in a street fight, then he's going to get beat in a cage match. What's the point of that?
Only if they do like a redemption angle, or just goes away for a little bit and then comes back bigger, better, stronger.
Yeah, I guess. Yep. I would try to turn him more into the Rock guy. That's initially what he was in NXT. He was like the rock star guy. Even when he first came into the main roster, but they've kind of he lost himself going in with the Judgment Day and all this other business. And the Terror Twins really didn't help, in my opinion. And sure, it felt like they were really trying to help him to go, yeah, it's you and Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's, everybody loves Rhea Ripley, but he's still having a hard time.
He was he said very little in NXT to begin with. And the big thing Jim Cornette would get excited about Damian Priest was because he sounded like a bloke amongst like little kids. Squeaky voices, not very big frames, but this guy was huge in comparison. But he said very little, and then now he's just trying to be cool and cocky and say too much, and he's not got that. He does not have that natural charisma.
That's why, again, for me, the perfect gimmick. If anybody is old enough out here to remember Guns N' Roses, remember those guys, kids? Yep, Guns N' Roses. He reminds me of Slash. He's got that whole rocker gimmick thing going. Imagine if they just make this shit a little more edgy. You don't, like I said, you don't have to say the shits and the F words and all this, but maybe have them come in with ladies every once in a while. Start dressing them up a little funkier, because it would make more sense than Seth Rollins. What's the point of Seth Rollins dressing funny? I don't get that, but I would get it if he started to, because that's what rock stars do, right? He make him the rock star guy, and then he wouldn't even have to say much, because it's really all about like the performance of it. It would make all the sense in the world to do all that, but I don't know what he is right now. He's a guy that's getting his ass kicked by Drew McIntyre over here, because that's where they left us with him last time. Get it? See, I remember everything, folks. Make sense of this, guys. Come on. McIntyre.
Well, yeah. It would be nice if they sort of just realised how good Drew is, and that, yeah, we're going to push Drew and we're going to put him over Priest, and they'd look at everything they've done for Priest over the last few years and use that to sort of like nudge Drew up, which I don't think it does, but they obviously do, because they had big plans for Priest. And they did, yeah, like you say, with that Rockstar gimmick. It still wasn't perfect, but it wasn't a bad little spot. But it's trying to be too cute with it, and they just really pushed that. Oh, he's got this nickname, and he's like the, yeah. They push too hard.
Yep, he's the Punisher. He's the Archer of Infamy. He's the this. He's the that.
He's a martial arts expert.
That's right. Yeah, he's got the educated feet, right? Yeah. I love that term. You got to bring that back. Everybody's got to have educated feet again. Yeah. So again, he loses twice. All right. Yep. He goes away. That makes sense. If he wins and beats McIntyre, then this continues.
Yep. And then he'll get another win over Drew later.
Oh man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Keeping this going, like by the time they do the next match after this cage match, somebody's gonna have to pull somebody's eyeball out, like Seth Rollins did to Rey Mysterio, right? It's got to be something like over the top crazy,
unless they go for the tag team element, Sheamus and Cesaro style. Because Drew isn't. Sorry, Priest isn't the guy. Drew is the guy. And yeah, I don't think Priest will ever be what WWE want him to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's got that. He's not the worst, but he's not what they think he is. But Drew is. So I think, yeah, stick him in a tag team together if you've got nothing else for Drew.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm still behind you, Priest. I believe in you just like they do. It's just they gotta figure out how to get some momentum going with him. That's it. He's got the size. I believe he can work on the mic good enough. Again, if you did a gimmick like made him Slash from Guns N' Roses, poof, you don't have to talk so much. It's really about that more than him being in the ring. And put some girls around him. Simple. All the kids will be like, he's cool. That's what you want. That's how I do it, Danny. I just grab, when I want the kids out there to see that Dr. Huge is the coolest, I grab up some ladies. I go to Comic Cons and things with them, right? All the hottest cosplayers. No ugly ones, no butterfaces. Nope, not around here. No fat chicks, right, Scott Steiner? No. I made a joke about it. No fat chicks. Come on. Dr. Huge, bro. So, yep. More on that later as well. Anyway, next. All right, we just figured out everything. Who's winning this match officially? Who's this show going to say is winning this? McIntyre?
That's my heart saying it though. Yeah, I'll go for Drew. Fuck Priest, he can go for a little break.
Doesn't make any sense why they would keep this going on so long just to kill him off of but he is getting killed off by McIntyre. I'm going McIntyre too then. That logic seems to win instead of keeping this going. Why would we keep this going? All right, McIntyre. Cool. He's the what? Undertaker? I can't put that on the screen. I can't put in certain words on the screen. I can't talk about certain people and certain things. All right, we learned this with TikTok. They still won't let me on TikTok. They said I'm in good standing. They said all I had to do was serve a week not being able to go live. Then they said all you need to do is just not do anything on TikTok for 30 days, and this will reset no matter what because you can't talk to anybody. And then it's been 2 months now, and they still won't let me go live on there. Good job, guys. Hail China.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's rotten.
So awesome. And I know what did it, Danny. I can't say certain words and certain things about certain people on Earth. Imagine that in America. Is this America? Is this Trump's America? I can't even use TikTok. To do a wrestling show. I hate you, TikTok. I'm still going to use you because I need to. But if I didn't need to, I wouldn't.
No. Silly. If we start banning one word, we have to ban all of them because someone will just find offense from every word.
Mm-hmm.
So
better watch
out. I didn't realize
it
had been that long now. That's crap.
It's been 2 months. Over 2 months, technically. And they go, oh, just keep reapplying and maybe someday it will just go, yep. Well, guess what? I've reapplied pretty much every day since. And it just goes, yep, it's going to take one business day. And then I go and check back and it's like, no, you need to reapply. So they just keep banning me over and over. And I didn't even do anything wrong. So frustrating. I could understand if I was like, I'm going to play Jurassic Park on my stream or whatever. I get it. But I didn't do anything wrong except mention certain people on Earth. How crazy is that? I can't even say anything about them. That's wow. Can't even say their name. Okay. Got it.
And there's some proper dog shit on there as well, to be honest. Like, a lot worse than anything you could just say like that. And
then exactly. And then I go on there and they go, oh, you're misinformation. And then I'm scrolling through TikTok one day and it's all misinformation. Everything on TikTok is misinformation. What are you talking about? Okay. I must be the worst of the worst, but geez. Can you believe that? Paladin. I know. Free Dr. Huge from TikTok. We were blowing up on there. I was just getting going on there, and the numbers were starting to get like, with the live views, we're starting to get silly because there's actually an audience there. Can you imagine that? For some reason, Twitter, I do okay, I guess, but even that, I put out a tweet and it gets an average of 150 engagements, which means swipe buys, right? So that's nothing. And I got over 10,000 followers. That's nothing. That's crazy. So thanks. As soon as I got into a stream where there were people, they kicked me right out. Yep. I noticed. Everybody says, no, you're acting crazy. Nobody ever shadow bans you. Nobody ever does this stuff. Yep. Again, I get it. Got it. So what else is happening? Let's just jump to the Cena match here, because he follows us, follows the show here. He follows Ron Killings, R-Truth follows us. I don't know what I'm gonna do. What are we gonna do, Danny? Who can we pick in this one?
Yeah, Cena easily. It's just I don't know what else to say, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, you John Cena recognize clearly.
Yeah, it's nice little callback, and it's just something for Killings to do. So yeah,
John Cena recognized.
Yep. I heard that this wasn't for the title, but why wouldn't it be? Make it for the title.
Yeah. No one expects him to drop it to R-Truth.
Right.
But at least make it for the title.
Could you imagine if he dropped it to him and then just won it back like a month later or a couple weeks later? But yeah, R-Truth, he should get the bag beat out of him tonight. I mean, that's what I'm expecting, because it makes John an even more of a heel, because R-Truth is representing John Cena now in the hustle, loyalty, respect stuff, and he's like the old John Cena, that's my guy and everything. So now John Cena is, metaphorically speaking, going to beat himself up, the good guy version of himself, tonight, and he's going to beat him up bad to really piss everybody off and do that.
Essentially destroying part of his past of who he was. So yeah, he's just trying to solidify himself as a heel now, and that's it. There's no turning back.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully they do it right. Again, this is an idea that seems, it's a really good idea. A lot of people didn't see this coming, because they would like, why would R-Truth be in a match like this in John Cena's last run? So it will definitely be heavily storyline based, or it should be, if they're smart. Lately, who knows? WrestleMania stunk. It was bad, like
It's the shits.
Just looking back on it, I'm like, wow, I can barely remember what happened most of the time, because it didn't even matter. It was like a glorified Monday Night Raw in a stadium.
Yeah, for 2 nights.
Ooh. Yep, that stunk. And you know what? This match, like the Randy Orton John Cena match, I wasn't expecting much. I don't really expect much from this, but that means that'll probably be really good.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be Omega and Ospreay. It doesn't need to be anything like that.
Mm-mm. And if Cena wins, you're gonna riot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because R-Truth called for that last night. I just want to point this out to the FBI out here. R-Truth, I'm sorry, R-Truth. I'm snitching on you. Even though you follow me. See, he follows me, guys. I made my way in. CIA. R-Truth's trying to start a riot. Fact, he said it last night, so can't call me a liar, folks. I mean it. Go get him. Go pick him up before the match. He'll be in Tampa Bay at Saturday night main event. One of them nights, he'll be there. I can hear the sirens now. They're out there. Yep. So what else is happening? Let's just put up the whole card, shall we? Look at this. Let's make it so everybody can see it. That's not it. One day we're going to figure this out, folks. Here we go. Yep. So we just talked about John Cena and R-Truth. So We're both picking John Cena, surprisingly. We both recognize for life John Cena, the GOAT.
John Cena recognized.
Got anything else you want to say before we close this out, John?
A lot of people violate rule number 40 of John Cena's house rules in the living room by forgetting to use drink coasters.
I'm also not going to cook you.
Thank you. But he's going to beat the hell out of our truth later. He might not cook him, might not eat him, might eat little Jimmy instead. Yep. So what else is happening? Oh, Jey Uso, another championship match here. The Yeet Meister going up against Logan Paul over here. Yeet. Are we liking Logan Paul better than Jey Uso now? Is that how long this has lasted?
That's where I am. Is that where everyone else is now? It's I've never been an Uso fan. Logan Paul, I've said before, he's taken to wrestling really well, and he's really good at being an absolute prick. So you can't deny that. You don't have to like him if you ever saw him in the street. You don't have to ask for his autograph. You can just walk on by. But wrestling-wise, he puts everything into it. Yeah, and I think he's just a lot more impressive than Uso. But they're not gonna give it to Logan Paul.
No yeet on that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, as far as liking Logan Paul, I'm never gonna like Logan Paul. I understand what he's all about. He even tells you in the ring. It's very shoot-like. He's like, this is all business, blah, 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 even when he's talking to other people. That's all this is about. There is no love for pro wrestling or the fans or anything like that. That's why you got the fucking Prime truck out there and, all this goofy stuff. That's what he's there for. It's for the money. And, okay, that's fine. WWE, the TKO version now, they're very much more interested in the money. But you know what? Yeet is all about the money. Everything that has to do with pro wrestling is about the money. It's always been like that. And I think the Yeet and the Jey Uso business has run its course. And we're done with it, right? Yeet! I think we're done with it.
Yes, but WWE wanted to be prolonged, hence why they've put him against Logan Paul, the one with the big social media following. Because, Uso's got his dance and he's got his catchphrase, and that's done really well on the internet with the kids and such. But compared to Logan Paul's following, it's peanuts. And that's like a lot of people's in wrestling. He's just got that sort of like extra mile with social media popularity. So they're hoping he gives that sort of a rub to Uso.
Mm-hmm. I better pack my Yeet shirts up to sell them in 20 years. And you get them ready. Hopefully they don't get eaten by all them pesky little bugs, the little moths, right?
No.
Yeah, we don't want you guys.
Oh, don't worry about that. I've got like 3 bees and 1 butterfly in my garden. Sorry to just sidetrack this into gardening, but just no bugs and stuff in the sky. I wonder what's happened. Yeah, I used to have like hundreds of bees in my bloody garden. I've got so many different plants that they love, but now the last 2 years I've had 3 bees that I've been able to see at once.
3 bees.
What's happened there?
Well, that's no good.
Do you know where the bees have gone?
I see a lot of bumblebees. I think I have a bumblebee nest around my place for years, so I see them all the time. At least the fat ones. But yeah, it's been a problem. I've heard for a while now. They've even made a Black Mirror episode where they mention this. Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we know what it is. Yep, maybe. We know what it is. Well, it's a good guess. See, we're talking to each other behind the scenes, people. Should we let them in? I'm going to let you think or know what I think. Right. That's the way we do this. So planes and spraying has been around for a while. I've taken pictures of this online and showed them to people just in my area because it was so ridiculous one day. It was not tic-tac-toes. It was line after line after line after line for miles, like as far as I could see to the horizon, which isn't all that far because I live in an area with a lot of trees. But then I drove to another place in my area. I got out of the car and I looked up again, just line and another line. And I was just like, this is crazy. They're literally crop dusting us in a way, but just way up. And I've been talking about this for years. People call me crazy. I'm like, I took pictures of it and I show it to people. I'm like, yeah, is this not happening? That's not real. Okay. What do you say to that?
Yeah, and the lines stick around for ages as well. We've admitted to it now over here. We have
too, but people act like they haven't.
Yeah, we've just been laughed at even more for like the last 3 or 4 weeks since they admitted it. We want to use solar panels, but then we also want to block out the sun by putting stuff in the end. It's like, so we're just the BBC admitted it. It must be close to a year ago now. They first started talking about cloud seeding and spraying in the air, and they just mentioned it. Just like whenever it was mentioned before, they'd just be like, "Oh no, that's a conspiracy theory." But now they just one day they decided it's not anymore, and they're just like, "No, we didn't say that. Nah, go away."
Isn't it weird how like information works? They can literally they could do full speeches in front of everybody, in front of the cameras, play it on TV and everything. People just may not see it or whatever. It goes away, but you got the internet, guys.
Yeah.
So like, that's the thing. That's why I don't understand why a lot of like different like cults and religions even exist. It's like the internet exists. You can literally do a deep dive into whatever you're worshiping and whatever you're like you're literally worshiping and you don't know what it is. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm like. I can't believe these people. So, but they go out there and then they will like hammer you with whatever they believe, even though they don't know nothing about it.
They don't know how the internet works. That's it. Some people's brains just can't really wrap around what the internet is, especially like politicians and celebrities or people like that, like you say, in cults who just think it's this one-way sort of like device to amplify the message to other people, and then they got all freaked out when someone gives them pushback. Mm-hmm. They were expecting it, and it's like, oh, that isn't, and they think they can just delete stuff and that's it. That the internet doesn't remember.
Yeah. Nothing really gets deleted. Though there's always the Wayback Machine. So shout out to everybody showing up. William Robinson in the house, Coach in the house. Yep, we're doing it, folks. We're talking all kinds of stuff. You can't stop. See, we know so much about everything. Know about R-Truth and what he's up to. Know about what they've been doing for years and telling you. And then everybody tells Dr. Huge and Danny, oh, you're stupid and you're crazy and your conspiracies. It's like, haven't you been noticing the conspiracies people have been dunking all over everybody for a while now? They just tell everybody 5 years after the fact, right? Oh, by the way, did you know that was exactly what all the conspiracy people said? Oh, by the way, they were also right about this, but they wait until they're done with it, and then everybody just moves on and still acts like we're nuts. It's like, what? It's pretty unbelievable, but yep. R-Truth for president. We're getting there. Over here, they're actually floating the idea of having Stephen A. Smith as running for president. I don't know if you know.
I'm familiar with this story. Yeah, he's been gaslit, hasn't he? Someone did like a mock poll, and it's like people voted, like a small number of people voted for him. Like, oh yeah, it'd be funny if he was president, and he took it seriously, and he just keeps gaslighting himself now, and it's just, yeah.
I think Disney takes it serious because that's technically who he works for, know, and they know all you need is just a guy to talk. It's basically a PR guy now at this point as president. That's like what we got over here. I mean, Joe Biden was barely alive, he's like a zombie, and they are just like, yeah, we're just going to keep going with this. No problem. We got this. So it's like, do we really need a president? I mean, I don't think we've had one for a while.
Was it teleprompter work he did before? I know what he did. I'm not really big into other sports, so I'm not familiar with watching his work. But yeah, if he reads a teleprompter or just memorizes a script, then yeah, like you say, they just need to whisper into his ear, and that's it. He just parrots it.
And that's the hilarious thing about it. I've seen him on some of these Republican stations. Believe it or not, they're platforming him more than the Democrats, even though he's a Democrat basically, and he's destroying the Democrats because, of course, they're playing in la la land. And listen, I'm not a Democrat or Republican, or I don't like. I'll say again, I'm so above all this. Like, I get it. Okay. This is pro wrestling we're talking about again, just a different form. And I get that people believe in it, but don't, because that's silly. We're going to talk about it pretty much the same way as I'm talking about wrestling, because Stephen A. Smith he dominates these fools. All these other people that read stuff off the screen online, on TV and the news and whatnot, they can't handle Stephen A. Smith because he goes to battle talking about sports, and really debating it and this and that. And so he goes on TV and it's hilarious. He crushes everybody, all these political analysts and stuff. And he doesn't even really know anything. So there could be something to it. And boy, would that would just be nuts. But you know what? Donald Trump has already been president, and he's a president again. That's nuts. To me, somebody that grew up in the 80s, 90s, and, knowing who he was, that was, did you ever see that one coming other than Back to the Future 2?
No, it's, well, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I don't know if you're familiar with Hitchhiker's Guide, but their galactic president in that was a very similar sort of like character, but he's a bit of a figurehead without spoiling everything for everybody. But yeah, he's very similar sort of personality, and that was written a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So when it happened, it's like, oh, I'm not surprised. Or like his first stint, I thought about Mayor West in Family Guy.
Oh, Mayor West.
Like, you're just meant to think he's daft and crazy, whereas actually he's not.
I don't know. We're gonna fix the world one of these days. The DrHUGEshow alone, we're just gonna do it. We fixed racism in like 2015, and then somebody like did something to somebody, and it just messed it all up again. We had it solved though.
Yeah.
There's so much more to solve now, but just like this card, how can we solve? I mean, it looks kind of good on paper, but is it really? Will it be really? We'll see. There's two more, events here we have to talk about. Zelina and Chelsea Green.
Oh,
I mean,
I was blocking them. You've ruined it. That was, yeah. Sorry.
Give me a take on Zelina real quick.
No, I'm not a massive fan, to be honest. She can do some of the moves, but she's just another one of those that just weighs way too little, and she can't throw what weight she has around in like a convincing manner. She was good on an arm. She's good on the mic. She's very good on the mic. She's good on the outside of the ring, giving crap to the opponent of the person she manages, and also giving the crowd grief as well. She's really good at that. But then either she wanted to be in the ring or WWE wanted her to be in the ring, and I've never been a fan.
Yeah. So a young person last night pointed out on the Twitter machine that she just doesn't believe in Zelina. And that's exactly what I've been thinking the entire time she's been around. Again, you said she's smaller, and Alexa Bliss can get away with it because she's so over the top good on the mic, right? Zelina is also good on the mic. I don't know if she's Alexa Bliss good on the mic, or can be, I don't know, maybe it's just the characters that they were given or whatever. But Zelina, for the way that she works in the ring and everything else, it's just always been like, I can't believe she has the belt right now, which she's probably going to lose again tonight because that. But then again, that would be a very short stint. But they've done this before. They've given the Zelina one of the low card women belts, and it just goes nowhere. They made her queen of the ring, and it goes nowhere. What are we doing?
It's so they can just mention that in passing when she's in a match, and it's like former queen of the ring and former whatever arse cheek championship, and it's Are they going to where she lives or used to live sometime soon? Because that coincided with one of the pushes as well. I think when they went to Puerto Rico, is it? Pardon my geography. I'm not good at English geography,
Mhm.
so don't get on at me. But yeah, she's a favourite for a few different reasons, but she's not that good. Alexa Bliss can throw some of her weight around. Sometimes she looks a bit, yeah, that wouldn't hurt, but she can like uncork that right hand, and she throws her knees into them, and she's a bit more convincing.
That's
But
true.
Zelina,
I can't even
no.
remember what Zelina does in the ring. I know what Alexa Bliss does.
She
Of course,
tries to be Eddie Guerrero whilst showing off what you get if you follow her on Instagram, basically.
You hate these OnlyFans people, not like she is, but you hate the butt cheeks.
But if they could work as well, look at Logan Paul. He's the same thing. He's a little tart, but he's really, really good at his job. Even if he doesn't actually like being there, he's just like, yeah, I want the money and the fame. But he's really good at what he's doing. And the other little tarts aren't a lot of the time. So, I'm sorry. Equal opportunity arsehole. That's me.
So we're going, oh, by the way, we're going Jay, just to make that official, everybody. He can't lose to Logan Paul tonight. He just can't do it. And we're going Chelsea. Chelsea gets it back already?
I'll let you decide this one, because I really just
go with it because everybody that has been watching me for years, or at least back in the day, they know well before she was the first time she showed up on TNA, I knew. I was like, this is good. She came in this little dress. She looked amazing, right? She's a killer body. And I'm like, if she just is willing to work and do wrestling things, Baron Corbin style, like, yeah, I'll do whatever. And you know what? I kind of figured she would, because I started seeing their gimmicks and whatnot that she was doing, the drunk bride or whatever she did for months on TNA. I'm like, this is, if she is given a chance, she will be good, because she's willing to do the work and go to the events and whatnot. And, I read a story the other day, and that was true. She's basically looked at backstage as the female Miz, going to stick around forever, just totally team corporation, and will go to any of the signings they need, any of the appearances. They love when she talks for the company, and it's hard to trust people to do that. A lot of people are stupid. I'm talking for you and for your business, your billion-dollar business, but she's one that they trust to do that. So she's killing it right now. And put the title back on her tonight, because what is it doing on Zelina in the first place? How is she even there? Sorry. I mean, she does block me, so.
Oh, dear.
Exactly. Paladin gets it.
Yeah, she's more entertaining. She's a natural.
Yep. Coach gets it. Chelsea wins. Yep. Mm-hmm. William
Baker's great
Robinson.
at everything else. Just she didn't need to be in the ring.
Yeah. William doesn't get it yet. We already talked about Cena, but and he will win. We're on you with that, but you're way back. Press fast forward on your VCR. Catch up. All right. Oh, one more match here we haven't talked about on the Saturday night main event happening tonight, folks. Pay me, WWE. Sami Zayn and CM Punk going up against Rollins and Braun Breaker. I don't give a shit tag match.
In the Sammy the Bum Zayn had better eat this pin tag match.
Thank you. Yes. He better. That would make a lot of sense, because CM Punk can't do it. He's way too over. Rollins, way too over. Braun Breaker, same deal. Sami Zayn, what are you even doing here? Why does he attach himself to everything? He just feels he's a fucking barnacle.
Is he the Jericho of WWE?
He is. He's just stuck to anybody that's got any momentum and anything going on. It's like, and Sami Zayn. It's like, get out of here, Sami Zayn. Nobody invited you. Man, ruining all these matches. Couldn't we have how about this? Paul works something backstage, right? Gets a 2-on-1 match versus CM Punk tonight. I would rather see that and watch them beat up CM Punk than having Sami Zayn involved. For what? because he's friends with Jey Uso, which is who's friends with CM Punk now, and now they're all BFFs again. I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's a bit far-fetched.
God, so the more I'm like talking about this wrestling, it's really pissing me off. It's making me hot. It's all Triple H's fault, right, kids? It's all his fault. Retweet and like this. Thank you. Watch this on YouTube. If you're not liking it right now, then you're worse than Triple H, okay? In his booking, we all want Vince back, right? Come on. I was right the whole time. See, everybody? I knew everybody always comes back around full circle. Yep. I told you. I mean, 2019 was pretty bad, though. I'll give you that. 2019 is probably one of the worst years in wrestling. We should just delete that whole year from existence. Yep.
Then we had the Thunderdome after that, though, so...
I'll take that because think about it, Danny. They managed to be able to have guys in underwear manhandle each other on TV during the worst pandemic ever, Danny. How impressive is that? That's pretty impressive, if you ask me.
Yeah, I do remember that time they had a window that you could see all the chaos and Armageddon and bodies flying and the people running, screaming, and yeah. And they all managed to keep the composure and work those wrestling matches and not get stressed or scared. So
crazy,
yeah.
Right? Austin, it was the Austin Theory period. That's when I realized Austin Theory is the next big thing, because he's like, do you want to go home over the sniffles, or do you want to like be on TV every week, new guys? And he's like, yep, I'll do that. I'm not afraid. I'm like 20 years old and in super good shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not, if you're 80, I get it. You know, if you're like in an old home, I get being afraid of that. You know, technically, in a boxing ring, it was a bioweapon, right? YouTube TOS. Essentially, that's what it was. But it wasn't. It was bad up front, and then by the time it was already getting going, they were like, you know, oh no, everybody, you know, don't talk to each other and don't go to Christmas and stuff. And like if you're getting me going with this again. I don't know how this started. It's all your fault, Danny.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault at all.
I'm telling you, you guys have no idea how crazy. This was so crazy for me specifically too. I'm sure it was crazy for everybody, but it was so crazy to see all this happen, knowing it was wrong in real time, telling people about it, them acting like I'm a douche. It was the craziest time ever. And it got to the point, that's what a big part of the reason I'm like, I'm not doing a show during this. And this is before it even got going. I knew it was going to happen like that. I knew like all the fallout and how everybody was going to respond, because I know these people. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And then I also got like dusted offline for a while because I was like spouting off right in the middle of it. You know, it was happening in March and everything. By the time April came around, I gave them March. I said, all right, you want your 2 weeks, 15 days, whatever. I'll even give you till May. And I gave them till May. And there was nothing going on. And then people were starting to like riot in the streets in every city. And I'm like, nobody seems to be worried about this. Why am I worried about this? And then it was just being hammered. Cell phone. Every time you looked at a screen, it was like, do this and do that and do this. And I'm not big on being told what the fuck to do. If you tell me what to do, I'm going to do the opposite most likely. So you better
even for a cheeseburger. And basketball tickets. You want
some comic books?
Is that what else they offered? Comic books.
Lottery tickets.
I saw the cheeseburgers and I saw the basketball tickets.
And that's after the fact. So first of all, I'm dealing with the people that are like insane because they think they're going to die. Right. And then what comes after that is, you know, the cure. Here comes the cure, everybody. We figured it out in record time. Here, take this shit. And I'm like, this. I feel like I'm in a horror movie, and nobody will listen. It was so crazy. And still to this day, nobody says thank you. Nobody says, hey, you were right about this. I'm sorry. The complete opposite. I get, yep. Yeah, me too. Remember? Yep, me too. And like, no. It was nobody else but me. And maybe one guy online out of like thousands of people I follow that got it. Everybody else. Woo, and I just went, you know what? I can't even do this show. I got better step back, because what am I going to do? Ice skate uphill like Blade says? I'm not a motherfucker like that. So there's
I know people that still just say like, "Oh yeah, I got 3 and I'm fine. What's wrong? You know, you chose not to. What's the problem?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's it. That's all. And it's like, yep. And it's like, Jesus God.
Listen, I'm not even worried about that, because I get that. There are people so terrified they don't even want to talk about it. Okay, I get it. You know, you were so wrong that you don't even want to talk about it. Got it. But to me, it's like that first part, the first part of that movie, where it was like everybody, like it was a zombie apocalypse, and everybody was getting all stirred up and staying indoors and locking themselves in and couldn't see their family in hospitals and thing, and they would be arrested and stuff, even though many of them were empty. That was a little weird. That part of the movie was weird. YouTube talking about the movies. Anyway, yeah, nobody saw the visions, right? I don't even know what we're talking about right now. They're gonna kick me with everything, dude.
Yeah, it was the Thunderdome era of WWE. I was about to say about how, yeah, they had some cool moments with it, and it was a nice idea and fancy sort of like, oh, look what we can do with technology. But Vince McMahon being able to control all the fan reactions in a similar way to when they make the video games, and then he can pipe bloody cheers and boos in there, and eventually it'll just be holograms of people coming down and fighting. And yeah, we didn't need to see any of that. We didn't need to see Vince getting really sort of like ahead of himself with that.
But imagine if you didn't have pro wrestling when you were locked inside for months.
We would have still had the WWE Vault on the network, I think, back then, and we'd have been able to watch plenty of other stuff that's probably been lost now, because I know they've gone to YouTube, haven't they? But I don't think they've transferred everything, because that'd be a big task.
Yep. So
all of that footage that WWE owns.
But we still got wrestlers out here sweating on each other. They just kept going, this is so deadly. Everybody's like running around like their hair's on fire, and they're washing their mail, and they're washing their groceries, and everyth's got to be washed and all this and sprayed with light. We got to drink Lysol now, and I'm like, whoa. But then they're wrestling on TV, and you know what? I was against it at first, but by the end of the Thunderdome, I was on the very last SmackDown Thunderdome, Danny. You'll see me in the background. I made sure of it. I put on a blue light and everything special so I could see myself. Cool. Yep. That's what we're talking about. The sleaze.
What do we want to talk about?
We're talking about whatever we want again. That's, like, so when these people come in, they're like, you're talking about spraying in the air and this and that. Yep. Guilty as charged. Lock me up. Come get me. I mean, you want...
Are you going to arrest the great one?
I know you want to. All right. So we already covered Saturday Night Live main event. Oh, who's going to win? Sammy Punk, Seth Rollins? It doesn't even matter. That's the thing about this match. I'm not going to pick it because it doesn't matter who wins.
Sami Zayn will eat the pin. And it'll be sponsored by, I don't fucking know, just
Arby's.
Chicken. Yeah, some food. It'll be some fast food, won't it? Athletic, healthy-looking people advertising shite food. Brilliant.
Yep. Arby's sponsored John Cena's heel promo last night. I'm not even kidding.
John Cena.
I'm not surprised.
I was laughing to myself. I'm like, they really are monetizing everything. So they had a vignette, and I know they've done this for years, but it sticks out more now for some reason, where it was like, and they just, after John Cena basically just shits on the whole crowd and all these little kids, it's like brought to you by Arby's. And I'm like, okay, does that make me want to eat Arby's? John Cena yelling at kids?
He needs to be sponsored by like a back to school event or something. That'd really upset the kids as well.
Mm-hmm. He makes them all read a book or turn in their tablets to show up for his matches. Like, you can't have any smartphones in here. You know, boo. I don't know. We'll figure it out. John Cena.
No, I just thought of just a great way if he was coming down the aisle and kids with the smartphones and like trying to film him and stuff. If he just started picking the odd smartphone and just smashing it and being like, and then obviously someone comes and slips the kid some money later. But just that's what I'd want to do if I was Cena. But it's a bit extreme for him, I think.
A little bit. Then the glass gets in the kid's eye or something. What would happen then? Then John Cena would be like, well, you must give me the child now so I can eat him backstage because he's already gone. He's got glass in his eye, right? Well, you know what this John Cena's up to.
You can't wipe my ass.
Yep. I'm not even going to try, John. So, all right. AEW has a pay-per-view tomorrow night. NXT's got a pay-per-view tomorrow night. Let's talk about it, huh? Is that what we're going to talk about?
What do we want to talk about?
Let's go. Yep, Arby's is slang for baby. That probably, you know what? When you think about it, when you start getting towards the end of the rabbit hole there, you start to see that type of talk, Sleaze. I'm sure you've been down there. You know what these Illuminati people are up to, all these John Cenas.
You can't wipe my ass.
He doesn't even cook them, right, John?
I'm also not going to cook you.
Nope. It's raw Arby's made out of baby meats, right? Yep. Paladin gets it. We have the meats. Cena. I don't know. Get better sponsors or something. I don't know. Everything upsets me today. Even that. But Trick Willie taking on Joe Hendry. Everybody loves Joe Hendry. He is the next, coming of he's the next Ric Flair, really. I mean, with a guitar. And he's going to take on a guy from NXT who's well known. We all know Hansy loves him. He loves the baby oiled wrestlers, I assume. And he's very baby oiled, this Trick Willie. But he came out that one of the greatest things he's done in his career up to this point, he did this week. He made a rap battle version to go up against Joe Hendry. He performed it live. Then he put it on YouTube after the show. It was good stuff. Yep. I thought it was going to be real cringe, and it kind of was cringe, but that's also what I like in my wrestling, a lot of cringe. And the one line about the Rumble, something about humble, and you took my spot in the Rumble. It was a banger. So shout out to Trick Williams. Who's going to win that? Is he going to take the TNA belt back to NXT?
No, I can't see that happening.
No?
Well, I don't think they'd go for that sort of like cross-promotion shenanigans. And this is me just saying I'm not seeing any of this build-up or anything, but just, it's good to have a cross-promotion match like that. And then you can say you've competed for the TNA title. Or that the TNA title was defended on pay-per-view X, but I don't think he's going to.
Hendry did get the better of him the other night, before.
I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong though. Like I say, I've not been following it. I'm just looking at it from that sort of an angle.
Generally, that means that the other guys, the person that got laid out is going to win. Like John Cena when he was RKO'd like a dozen weeks in a row before the match with Randy Orton. It's like, we get it. Cena's going to win this no matter what. You can have 1,000 false finishes. I'm not going to believe it. Cena's winning this. And he did. All he needs is just a couple seconds with a referee who's awake. Every one of those matches, especially lately with Cena, the ref gets knocked out every match. And they bring in another ref and he gets knocked out. It's like,
they were doing that with Reigns before him.
Yep, that's true. It must be something about that top spot in that title where it's like, well, we can't just have one ref. We need like multiple refs. Again, Is wrestling just so simple-minded now, and they're not gonna attempt to innovate anymore? They're just gonna continue to do whatever has been done with the past. It's every time. The whole John Cena heel turn was very Hulk Hogan-like, but and not even as good. Everything that's being done now. How about the chairs, ladders, and tables matches? Tables, ladders, and chairs, TLCs, with the tag team division, SmackDown. I get what you're doing. It's a good idea to do this and to put them all out there in a main event, like before WrestleMania. But again, I get what you're doing. We already did that. We can't do anything else. It's just weird. Very lazy.
You don't have time to commit anything to memory properly because they show you a little bit, like I said, and then they just like hound you with adverts. And then there's a little bit more of something. And then the next day it's like, right, everything you learned and watched yesterday and you haven't had a chance to chat to your friends about properly yet, just forget all that because here's some more stuff with adverts and then some more stuff with adverts. And it's just never ending. So it's difficult to sort of like commit a lot of that now. So they just assume your memory flushes and yeah, we can just do the same angle we did 3 days ago or last week or last month. And the occasional tribute to like the Dudleys and Hardys and Edge and Christian TLC, that sort of thing. But yeah, they don't try as much.
It just worries me because people have been saying it online and I've been feeling it. Wrestling is just background noise. You do other things while you watch wrestling. You can't just sit there and watch wrestling for 2-3 hours a night. It's you put it on and you do other stuff. That's what I do. You mean the time, and every once in a while, like I keyed in on certain things last night. I'll key in on, and that's where I figure, oh, this must be good. And then I watch it for 5 seconds, and if it's not good, I go back to what I'm doing. And if it is, I stay watching it. And last night, that was LA Knight, Aleister Black, and Shinsuke Nakamura, that whole match, which was hilarious too. By the way, since we're going to talk about this for a second, just look at this. Look at what Shinsuke Nakamura does to this guy, LA Knight. He kicks him right between the... Well, first he sets him up right on his belly to kick him out of the ring because then he's going to have his moment with Aleister Black there in the background. But then he shoves him out right between his legs. And you can hear him yell like, oh, yeah, damn. Watch. It's the best. Hopefully it just keeps replaying. Let's see. And then the way he looks at the camera. Let's just keep playing. Oh, God. So I'm watching SmackDown Live. I'm like, all right, I got to keep watching this match now. Everything they were doing in this match was good. They had funny stuff in it. They were going hard. Plus, these are 3 quality professionals here. So we're not getting a whole... This is a 3-hour show, folks. And this was the highlight of the night. So, just so everybody knows. But yeah, to
go to your comment, I'm not sure if it's the WWE's fault or if they're reacting to the fans and how we generally consume things now. Because rather than sitting and watching wrestling and watching it for the amount of time, which used to be an hour, you'd watch it and just that would be your focus. But now we've all got to get on Twitter, we've all got to get on whatever, we've all got to text our friends and be like, are you watching so-and-so? So a lot of us have like given up our attention span in that way. But then also when WWE put an advert out every 30 seconds, I get it, not everybody wants to sit and watch an advert for 30 seconds. So people will look and be like, oh, what else can I do in this 30 seconds? Because I don't want to have this thing sold to me again. Mm-hmm. So is it a chicken or the egg situation? I think it is a chicken or egg situation, but did WWE paint themselves into the corner, or have we, the fans, also contributed to this because we've allowed our attention span to be shortened significantly than what it was when we just had to like watch an hour's worth, and they crammed an hour's worth of really good TV, and like Paladin's just mentioned in the comments, too much wrestling, quantity over quality, and yeah, we've just got way too much. And if they were told they could only do 2 hours a week, which like or 1 hour and 1 hour later, they'd be the best 2 hours. When NXT was just an hour, it was awesome, and I would not stop watching that when that was on and it was just an hour. But then when they extended it and it's changed, it's it just shows the cycle, how it's repeated again and again. First Raw, then SmackDown, then NXT.
Yep, I'm right there with you. And I knew this was coming. I used to speak about this all the time. I'm like, wait until there's wrestling on every single night. Because I could see them. It was a slow, gradual thing. They started with a lot of tournaments. And also with the tournaments, like the women's tournament, they had that Mae Young Classic years ago. They had the Cruiserweight Classic, they probably called it. Let's just call everything a classic. And
the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
Dusty Rhodes Classic. They had a bunch of new tag teams. That's where FTR, the first time I ever saw FTR was in the Dusty Rhodes Classic. But yeah, it just blew up into what it is. And then of course AEW comes around. Man, yeah, the other indies have blown up. WWE has just become this like it's got its tentacles in everything now. They're talking about going back to Europe. They had NXT UK. They want to do NXT Europe now. Did you hear about that?
No, it makes more sense than just doing a UK one. Just broadening that scope to all of Europe. That does make more sense. But yeah, well, it might work.
And all over again, they're going to piss everybody off over there because it's like the territories thing all over again. They're going to take over, or at least become the biggest thing around, which is not great for business for everybody else.
No, they wouldn't do that. That's the sort of thing Vince McMahon would do. Triple H wouldn't do that. Triple H is our pal. He's like our adopted dad. He's like the teacher at school that like replaces that useless father figure we've all got. He would never do that. That's a Vince McMahon thing.
And then Triple H goes home and sniffs all this cash. He just sits there for hours.
It could be worse. He could pay the fans. He could be that desperate to pay the fans to come and watch his stuff. So I'm not going to take the piss out of him that much.
Oh, speaking of, there is somebody that does that, and his name is Anthony Khan. At least I think that's the full name. But the story is, I got it here somewhere. Where is it? Let me wrinkle some papers around. So Tony Khan, AEW, $100 seat fillers. That's what I wrote down because I seen a story about this where he's paying people to fill the seats. I read how their whole way of like getting in touch with them and becoming, a seat filler. They got you jumping through so many hoops for $100. First of all, it sounds like a good deal, right? But it ain't as simple as just, you show up and it's like, now you got to sign up for this, and then they got to email you, and then you got to be here at this time, and then you might do it, and you might not. And I'm like, I would never, maybe for $1,000, I would do it. But yeah, how is this
on the card?
First of all, I don't know if this is real. I just seen it out there. You never know with these rumors and things, but I don't disbelieve it either. I know there have been promotions in the past that have done this. So
didn't Hogan and Bischoff era TNA just give seats for free?
Oh yeah, I believe so.
I don't think they paid people, but I think they just said, yeah, come down, you get on telly, and he will give you a T-shirt and a Hulk Hogan sign, or any sign of other wrestlers you'd like to hold up, but Hulk Hogan definitely. Yeah, so I'm not surprised that Tony Khan, if that's true, I'm not surprised if Tony Khan's like giving free tickets and paying like $100, even if you've got to like retweet a load of his awful tweets.
And I mean, there's a lot of weird news with the tickets and just all of the business. WWE is changing from New Orleans and they're going back to Las Vegas for WrestleMania, back-to-back WrestleManias in Las Vegas.
Wow. I saw that they canceled the New Orleans part, but I've not seen.
Yep. I don't think it was all their decision. I think it was most likely because of New Orleans. That's my guess, because they're like, listen, we can't, the security's bad, this, that, we just can't do it. And so, and WWE's like, well, we just had it in Las Vegas. We We got the plans. You know, there's all these logistics and moving parts. So we'll just do that again instead of trying to rebuild in another city on a short time period. It makes sense. So, but also I heard that they may even go back more than this time. So they're going to do it next year, and they may go to Indianapolis the year after and then go back. So it's going to be like a place that they can always go back to.
Right.
And I heard Nick Khan is from that area. I thought they were going to go to Europe. I thought that's what the whole was. As soon as I heard no New Orleans, I was like, that must be going to England or France. That would be
London
huge.
doesn't deserve it. Sorry, lads. London does not deserve anything nice, I'm afraid. Not at the minute. And,
wow.
Yeah,
that bad, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go anyway because they'd want like £1 bajillion just for a backseat ticket.
Yeah, but everything's expensive too.
Yeah. Oh, it's just not even worth thinking about. But yeah, London doesn't deserve it. It needs to clean up its act.
It would be huge, though, wouldn't it? Like just like the Wimbledon AEW.
Oh yeah, it would. It'd be a massive money deal. But yeah, we don't deserve it. The London mayor doesn't deserve it. Because he'd act like, oh yeah, Triple H sought me out and he wanted to book something in London because of me, and it's like, no man, it's just because of London, it's just because of Wembley, it's got nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and how about France? How about this? Because I don't know much about. I've never been to Europe, so do you guys look at each other like the other country because it's so close by? Like, is it just like almost like you think of it as another state or something, or is it like you really think of them as other countries because they're close.
Yeah, other countries. No, completely other countries.
Yeah, but then you're all in the European Union, right?
Not all of us, but even England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland, we are very similar. But then we also just like
you guys fight all the time.
Yeah, we just get hyper focused on the very small differences we have with each other, and it's like that's what the whole argument ends up being about. And it's just we just focus on that thing. But we are very similar. But once upon a time, we did sort of like see each other as completely different countries. So we still do in a way, but with France, Germany, we have little friendly rivalries because of world wars and things like that. But yeah, we do see that
because of world wars, friendly rivalries.
Well, yeah, it's friendly rivalries now. It's the worst. It's just football and sports and stuff like that.
Because it feels like we're like stuck over here, like in America, kind of almost by ourselves. Like, of course, we got Mexico and we got Canada. You know, in Mexico, they have like they got cool food. You know, got a lot of drugs. And Canada is kind of like, I don't know what I would call Canada. And this isn't shade to anybody. It's just this is the American outlook, I would assume, for most people. Hey, at least I know where you guys are. You know, most Americans don't even know where the fuck anybody is, especially themselves. So, yeah, I don't know what Canada does, to be honest.
The situation, the situation you have with Canada is quite similar to what we have with Scotland. They're our neighbours to the north. We're Great Britain when we want to be, but then no, it's the Scottish and it's the English when we don't want to be. Like with the hockey thing, you like them when you need to be like collectively like, oh yeah, we're all really good at hockey over here, and you include Canada in the conversation, but then in the next breath you'll sort of like distance yourself. We do that with Scotland, and Scotland do that with us.
Yeah, well, I don't see borders or any of that stuff. Of course, Danny. I love all the people. I love all my Nigerian followers, even online. You know, which is a little suspect because you got to watch out for the scammers, especially from the west side of Africa. I'm up to. I mean, I know what your guys are up to, most of yous, but then there are some nice ones. So, not all scammers, right? That's right. We're nice. See, I love Canada. If Canada wasn't around, who else would we blame for all the stupid stuff we do? That's basically the reason why you exist, I think. I think South Park told us that.
Yeah.
So, see? Super nice. I love everybody. Especially all the ladies in the Philippines that are of age, of course. Yep, so, all right. What else we got here? Let's do a little more because we could
Yeah,
talk
sorry,
about.
you were talking NXT and I sidetracked you again somehow. Sorry.
Yeah, we could talk these pay-per-views. Let's bang through them real quick. And then I got a ton of wrestling news and stuff that we can chat about that everybody will be interested in. But you know what? This is kind of loosely based around wrestling, so let's get it done. Obafemi taking on Miles Bourne, who I thought had a overbite. Swear, Scout's honor here, right? I thought it was an overbite. I didn't know he was hard of hearing. I don't know if you know of Miles Bourne. He's a guy in NXT. He's a part of a small faction on there. This is probably the biggest spot any of them in that group have been put in. And yeah, he's hard of hearing. So he talks funny. So, and that's the reason why. I thought it was an overbite. Either way, I would have been fine with him getting a push in all this. He made a lot of statements about, the whole angle with him and Obafemi. Obafemi's this big giant over in NXT. He's the champ. Very hard to beat. He's a very low-ranked guy that managed to win a battle royal to get this match. Has a hard time speaking and hearing. And so everybody's on his side. Right. Get it? That's what it is. So, hey, if they gave the title to Miles Bourne here, I would be all right with it. Because it's an NXT title, first of all. I think they want to do something with Obafemi and possibly get him in a program with this Jasper Troy that came from LFG, that show on Sunday nights.
They all have such terrible fucking names.
Yeah, Jasper. Yeah. It's not a very good name. But
the NXT random name generator is just not generous.
That's a bad one. Yeah, but he's a big guy too. And he ran in during their promo that they were cutting on each other this week. So there's something there, and there's a possibility. Don't be totally surprised if Miles Bourne wins this. Plus, he's MAGA. Have you heard that? This Miles Bourne?
No.
He was put on a MAGA list by a Mark out in the Twitterverse I saw recently. Oh, it's Miles Bourne. He was right at the top. And Roman Reigns and this guy. And it's just like, bro, just stick to wrestling. Like, what are you doing? These people, these kids especially. I'm allowed to talk about this. I'm old as hell. I know what's going on. I've seen it. And I never spoke out when I was young because I didn't know anything. And I knew enough that I didn't know anything. And I had to learn. And I learned it. And now I can talk about it a little bit. Get it? That's how it works.
Wouldn't that gentleman be the sort of person that they'd champion more because he's like hard of hearing, and it's like, hey, look at this, some fella that's hard of hearing, and he's like going to be a pro wrestler, showing that you don't let something like that. Obviously, you don't want him to make every promo and talk about that every single time because that's just going to put people off. But if that's his story and it's known, surely that's somebody that sort of person would promote. But then they find out the political affiliation, and that's it. All of a sudden, complete black and white response. Just right, yeah. Let's just tell the world he's a prick.
If he even is a MAGA guy,
nice.
Because there have been people that call me a MAGA guy, and I'm not a MAGA guy. So take that for what you will. It's just whenever anybody calls anybody anything, I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't jump on it. So definitely don't jump on these things, ladies and gentlemen. Very sensitive when you talk about this stuff. Everybody gets very upset. Keep an open mind and you might learn something. Nobody's got it all figured out, all right? Thank you. Orton, he must be on it. Yep. Yeah, so, all right. So, yep, that happened or is going to happen. Oba. I'm still going with Oba. Sol Ruka is taking on Kalani Jordan. So this is a straight babe matchup, both cheerleader gymnastic types. So even better. Be a good one to watch. Sol has a championship at the moment, but she's been having problems with her tag partner. Not necessarily like internal problems. Every time they seem to go out to the wrestling ring, one or another like jack each other up by accident, and so now they got issues because her partners probably wants that mid-card ladies title in NXT too. Maybe she wants it. and it could come out tonight. She could help Kalani. She could help herself. Who knows? Then Tony D'Angelo takes on Stax, who's been in hiding. You know, they're doing a whole like Sopranos angle around all this stuff. Not much to talk. Again, like I said, we're blowing through this because, you know, there's really not much to it, but should be a decent enough pay-per-view. And last but not least, Vacker taking on Jordan Grace for the title. I don't see Jordan winning it yet. I mean, Vacker already lost one of her 2 titles here, that North American that Saul has now. And she retains. And don't kill yourself by jumping out of the ring anymore, Jordan Grace, because, you know, one of these times you are. It's going to happen. You're going to hagrum yourself. Yep. So there's that. That's what's happening tomorrow night with the WWE stuff. And the AEW card, I mean, I'm going to show it. And I want your takes on this, too. We're just going to look at this. Because I looked at it earlier. And it looks good when you first look at this.
What the fuck is that top left?
Yeah. That is a good one.
That picture of Paige, Adam Page, you are not a tough guy. Stick it up your ass, dry and sideways. No, come on. Sorry.
All right, let's start from the top. Then you got Ethan Page and Will Ospreay. Hey, their fans seem to be really looking forward to this whole card. And like I said, on the surface, it looks like a good card, but then I'm starting to let's talk this out, though. So, okay, Ospreay versus Ethan Page. I don't even
Adam Page. Oh, don't do Ethan Page dirty like that, man.
Oh, Ethan Page, that's right. I always call him, it's Adam Page. Yeah.
Ethan Page is good. Shh.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Cowboys. Sorry, guys. I'm more of a fan of Will Ospreay. If I had to pick between the two, I'm going Will Ospreay. Even though he's got that hair from that kid from Home Improvement, Zach Taylor. You know, he's got the 2 swoops on the side, and it's all shaved up. Total 90s haircut. What are you doing, bruv?
Bruv, yeah.
You know,
bruv.
This whole time I thought he was from Australia. I am not even shitting you. Thought he was Australian this whole time. Okay. He wasn't. This week I'm like, oh, he's not. He's from England. And do you tell people you're from England, or do you say it's you're from the UK?
I say England. It's just more accurate. It's not like I don't like to be referred to as being British. I wouldn't say to someone,
British
I'm
is
British.
Another one too, yeah.
Because if you say British, if you know what that means, it's like, well, what part? Because there's 4 countries in Britain. Mm-hmm. So,
again, Americans don't know this, yeah.
But you'd be able to tell by the accent, you know, English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, very distinct accents. But then each of them has their own. Considering how small they are, they have such a number of different accents. Scotland's insane. It's just really thick accents. Yeah, just you travel a couple of miles.
You know, I want, if I ever go over there, which I probably never will, I will. The first thing I want to do is get a breakfast from somebody's house on the street.
Right.
That's what I want to do. I've seen those videos. I want that. Those breakfasts look good. So that's why I'm taking Will Ospreay too, by the way. So. Because of the English.
Go on then, yeah. I mean, look at the poor lad. His hair looks like a janitor's mop, and he needed changing about 5 years ago. But yeah, he looks a lot better than Adam Page. Jesus.
Yeah, Adam Page, he's got a full-blown perm now. This Adam Page. I mean, going to the salon a lot lately. Yep. So I don't have much for this whole card. I don't have much to say about it. But we got Monet and Jamie Hayter, who I get that now she's like full 70s and all this stuff, but I don't know, it's so over the top. Lighten it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Mm. Like, I get you think you're dressing like you're in the 70s, but that's a lot of work to have all them clothes and to really keep that thing going like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, is it not just a little bit of like a slight tweak of Tony Storm's sort of thing, but instead of being in that era, it's a different era?
Yeah.
Seems a bit too close to that gimmick.
Yeah, what's next? We're gonna have like a Joan of Arc gimmick, and she comes out in like, you know, warrior's outfit from the 1800, whatever, some century, you know.
So we'll just have an 80s and then a 90s and then a 90s girl, and yeah, and it's like a girl for every.
There's no more eras really. The 2000s don't have much except jorts, and yeah, everything after is just now it's a mixed bag of just stuff. So isn't that weird how that works? Like there's really no more styles when you think about it. Like you can wear baggy pants, you can wear skinny jeans. What's the difference? Nobody's gonna look at you weird. You can wear sweatpants now. When you go out, nobody's gonna look at you weird.
Yeah, it basically looks like you've just painted your legs and ass and just gone out into public. So thanks, I don't have to use my imagination anymore.
So okay, I kind of get it with this Jamie hater. If you want to just be full 70s, go for it. 70s wallpaper, all right. And she's taking on Monet, who we, none of us can stand. Of course, she's good in the ring. I think she is. But is this the time she's going to lose? This is for the main title, I believe. She's not going to lose it, right?
I'm not sure. Oh, no. Is it for the Owen Hart Women's Tournament Final?
It is. Women's Tournament Final.
So, Hater could win that then.
Yeah.
Hater's good in the ring. I do like her. I've not seen this new gimmick, I'll be completely honest. But just from what you described then, like I say, it sounds a bit similar to Tony Storm's. But yeah, Hater's great in the ring. And if it's not for Monet's belt, then yeah, why not give her that? And then Monet doesn't really lose too much. She can still swagger around with the belt.
And she's got 3 belts, this Mercedes Monet, and none of them are on the line tonight. Yep.
She has 3 belts.
Got it. Yeah. And I heard she just lost one. So I heard she lost one, and then I saw her Wednesday night with 3 belts, and I went, huh? I'm like, so she had 4 belts? Unless I'm missing something, but all right. Anyway, next up, we got Anarchy in the Arena.
It's the shits.
Yeah, thank you, Brett. That's not to be good. Kenny Omega and Dean Ambrose essentially have their squads together, and they're going to fight each other.
They've got a lass on the team then.
Yeah, well, each team has a lady. The good guy team has Willow Nightingale, and the other team has, their girl from the what do they call themselves? I don't even know what they call themselves anymore. It's right here in the screen, but it's so small I can't even see it.
Oh, the Death Riders.
Death Riders, yes. She's
Stop being the Blackpool Fight Club or whatever it was, whilst none of them were actually from Blackpool.
Yeah, I know her as Roderick Strong's wife.
Right.
Yeah. Because I can't remember her name either. So yeah, they're going to take each other on. It's probably going to stink. It's going to be embarrassing. Moxley's going to do his Jason Voorhees stuff. Omega's going to do his flippy, take things in the ass stuff. And then that's it really, right? Samoa Joe's going to choke some people.
Someone's going to jump off something daft, and Cesaro's just going to go ping and catch him with his finger because he's a unit, but it'll still look daft. Is that the Young? That is the Young Bucks. Yeah,
there's a lot of for me, it's just the Young Bucks are a no-go. And then, of course, Kenny Omega. I mean, come on. And he's looked at as the past few weeks I've been tuning into this AEW, and, these 2 teams have been fighting, but they've been slowly joining forces, and at the very end of as soon as everybody's run out, everybody's fighting out there in the arena, and then you hear Kenny Omega's music, and it always just makes me go,
it's the shits.
And then I just turn it. Because he's the last, it's like, here comes the big guns now. And they've done this over and over. And then I see him in the front here, like he's leading the team with Swerve and Samoa Joe. Swerve and Samoa Joe are better than you. Get out of here. And that's the thing. I look at this card and I'm like, it looks like fun, and it could be to somebody, probably not me. But again, if I'm watching anything, it's going to be NXT tomorrow night because I already pay for it. Why would I pay for this when I already got NXT to watch tomorrow night? Or do you think that, oh, well, I should pay and watch AEW and then watch NXT on a later time when there's 2.5 hours of Monday Night Raw going on, and then another NXT Tuesday, and then another Dynamite. You see where I'm going with this? It's nonstop. So I don't just pick and choose and then watch something later on. There's too much to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm watching NXT. I already paid for it. And this ain't making me come over to get it. Tony Storm and Mina. Mina stinks.
It's the shits.
If that's even her name. And you know what? Give me Julia Hart. I love Julia Hart. This is kind of a new take I've been having. Now that I've seen her a few times, she's got a Baron Corbin entrance, with the lights. Remember his original entrance with the lights?
Yeah.
That was a great entrance. So Tony Khan stole that. Apparently he's studying Triple H and not the other way around, as the kids are telling me, because that was Baron Corbin's. And Julia Hart has it now. Badass music, great theme, looks the part. She's a skinny little girl, right? Which is never one of my favorite types of things in wrestling. But you know what? She wrestles pretty good. She makes it look good enough, and she's not even all sexed up. She's got the Kevin Nash pants on and the hat, like the Undertaker and everything. I'm digging it. I like that the best. And of course, she's not even on this card. So I don't like it. I don't like Mina. They had Mina beat her to face Tony Storm. That's stupid. Get Mina out of here. Can she even speak English? Julia Hart can. All right. So yeah, Tony Storm's winning that because why would they have this lady win? I don't even know who she is.
Yeah.
Then we have Okada, the Rainmaker, the Shits Maker. Ever since he's been in AEW,
It's the shits.
because man, he's fucking terrible over there on the mic, and he's okay in the ring, right? But how do I get with somebody that, again, he's a goof? He acts like a goof when he's over, and they paid him all that money to just come over there and be a goof. All right, he's taking on what's his name, Bailey. The guy that doesn't wear shoes, which just upsets me very much. And I can't stand wrestlers that don't wear shoes because you're just watching them and they're in this dirty arena in this dirty ring, and then they're doing moves and you're just waiting for one of their toes to go sideways. When they hit a post wrong or something. Yeah. Happened to John Jones in the UFC. It'll happen to you soon too, Bailey. You watch out, Speedball. You're going to turn into slow ball soon. As soon as your foot turns sideways because you're not locked in with a wrestling boot like a man. Anyway, so I don't know who I want to win this one or think will win this one. Both karate masters, apparently, right? Because one's Asian and one is... Right? Isn't that how it works in America?
I do believe everybody was kung fu fighting. I think you're correct,
right.
Yeah. So they know something.
Listen, that's racist, okay? Todd is not a kung fu fighter. He's a wrestler. And
because I meant Speedball Bailey.
Oh, Speedball, yeah. I thought you were being racist. I was just pointing out the racism before you said it, But yeah, Speedball is the kung fu fighter, and he's going to get beat because of that. Plus the, what's this guy? Silver from Karate Kid 3 and Cobra Kai. That's his father, folks. That's Speedball's father, if you didn't know that. True story. Then next up, we have a stretcher match. My goodness. Between Ricochet, that we all know, and what's his name? From the old tag team there?
Mark Briscoe.
Mark Briscoe. Yes. So a stretcher match. This seems like it's up Mark Briscoe's alley. Looks a little crazy. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not buying this. Ricochet is a tough guy. It's just, yeah.
Mm-mm.
He had a very nice spot in WWE, and I think he's been a bit ungrateful. He stood out. They presented him in a way in WWE where he actually stood out, whereas in AEW, he's doing the same shit everyone else is doing.
Oops, wrong picture. There we go.
Yeah, that's what he's doing now.
Yeah, I mean, he's awfully bad. He's got the annoying voice, the annoying laugh. He kind of
annoying wife.
They just leaned into it, and it seems to have worked with some people, I guess. To me, it's I know he's a nice guy. You can't be a nice guy for several years. You're not going to fool Dr. Huge. You may be fooling some of these kids out here. Do they think you're obnoxious and annoying because you're using Twitter? All he's doing was using Twitter. That's all he was doing. Like, imagine, like, so he's just going to ignore everybody? No, you don't really have to, especially with all that free time you got going from hotel to hotel and just traveling, and you're just reading people shitting on you all the time. So he figured, hey, I'll fight back. If people don't like it, which they didn't, then I'll turn it into a heel thing. And he made it into something. So I'm not like hating on him. I get it, is what I'm saying. I totally understand what he was doing and all this stuff. And he's leaning into it, but that's also why I don't buy it. I personally don't buy it. And you can dislike him and stuff. I don't think that's not the appeal to me. Still the appeal is the in-ring work. And I think his out of the ring work and the mic and all this stuff is still just as bad as it was, in my opinion. It doesn't matter if he's stabbing people with scissors and wiping blood all over himself. That's just, it feels like you're trying too hard at that point. But again,
that isn't what was missing.
Yeah, that wasn't it for me. It was something else, like an it factor, if you will. So, all right. So what else is happening on that AEW card? Where is it? I had to see that picture of him kissing the hot dog. He loves it so much. Oh, the Hurt Business. I do like the Hurt Business. I don't like this guy. Who is he? You know who I'm talking about.
It's Sammy Guerrero and Guevara and Dustin
and Goldust. Of course, I know Goldust.
The Sons of Texas. I've just spotted that. That's
what do they call themselves?
The Sons of Texas.
No,
that's what the tag team name says on the card.
Wow, that's Cope level bad.
Oh Christ, they've got belts as well.
Yeah, they got ROH. They must be tag belts.
Oh, the good old Ring of Honor. Yeah, there we go. It was well worth you digging that up, Tony Khan. Thank you.
When is that show on? No? Anybody in the chat? Please tell us. And get retweeting and subscribing, of course. But, yeah. So, you know what's going to happen here. Do we need to get into this? We already know. The Hurt Syndicate is going to destroy these boys. And it's crazy because it's title on title. And why would they fight the ROH title guys? What? You're going to make them look bad. Are they closing up shop or something? That's the only reason that would make sense. Why would you want them to look stupid? Anyway. So the final match here that we're going to talk about, because I got nothing else for you there. Nigel McGuinness and what's his name too? God, I can't remember any of these guys' names. Daniel Garcia, the dancer, going up against FTR.
Can I ask a question? Why?
They've been getting into it lately, and Michael, the little short black dude, is the manager of FTR now. Michael Bivens, right? That's his name.
All right.
From Belle Biv DeVoe. But yeah, that's
odd pairing. That's a very odd pairing.
Yeah, it seems to be working though, and that's why I'm going to take them tonight. Plus Nigel, I think this might be one of his final matches. We'll see. All right, get off my screen, everybody. We talked about you enough. That's the thing. I'm not going to watch it. I'll watch some highlights. I'll see what's going on with it, but overall, it's NXT for me. It's a Saturday night main event tonight, NXT tomorrow. God, and then You really expect me to watch Monday Night Raw, folks? I might, because I'm an expert. I'm an analyst. And everybody must retweet, share this to everybody out there in the universe. We can't do it without you guys. And I've noticed, Danny, the craziest thing about this internet stuff, on the internet, trying to do things like organically without buying followers and going that route and working it like a corporation type deal, having AI do everything for you. The only way you can get ahead is if people are actually telling their friends about it in person. And I've had a lot of that. And they actually, like, especially in the past, but it blows things up if you tell people about things in person. So if you like this show, tell everybody about it. If they're into wrestling at all, if they like a hee-hee or a ha-ha there, we can do that. That's what we're here for. I've been posting many shorts, a lot of clips lately. Go check them out on the channel. Follow on YouTube. They've been getting higher. We're getting there. I'm telling you, that first 100 sucked. That second 100 to 200, a little bit better. And now we're starting to like get there. Imagine that, under 200 subscribers for this. For this? The best in the world? I think I got one of those. Come on.
Shut up!
No, I don't. There it is. That's right. So if you're not following, if you're not subscribing, if you're not retweeting and doing your work out there, then we'll never be here in the future, because then you're never going to tell anybody. And you know these platforms aren't going to help me or Danny. They hate us. We tell the truth. Something like that. So, all right. Some few more notes here. Oh, check this out. I have another little video to show everybody. So Monday Night Raw was just the shits. And if you need to leave at any time, Danny, just let me know. So no problem.
Cool. I'm good for now. Thanks, but yeah.
Okay. But here's just in a nutshell. Here's the show. This is what it was to me. Because I caught this and I was just sickened by it. And remember, I told everybody last week and the week before that Becky Lynch, ever since she's come back and pushed Bayley out of the way, that she's really been rusty. She's rusty in the ring. She's rusty as a character, meaning like when she's acting tough at the wrong times, she's acting weak at the wrong times, in my opinion. And then I seen this, I'm just like, this Raw stinks. So let's go over a few things about this Monday Night Raw. I know we're going back a little bit, folks, but hey, I checked it out in between basketball and other things. But so Becky Lynch slams her head with no help. Sheamus took on Waller, which was a highlight of the show. Him giving them the Dublin smile. That was pretty cool. And here's another bummer. So Halliburton from the Indiana Pacers, he's got a spot in WWE 2K, a basketball player. What? Why? So you mean to tell me there's 1 trillion professional wrestlers all the time, right? Everywhere. You can't license Bruno Sammartino?
No.
Wouldn't that be cool? Even to teach the kids and go, hey, he had the belt longer than Roman Reigns did at one point. Guess what? DLC pack, Bruno Sammartino, Buddy Rogers, throw some. It could be anybody. I'm just spitballing here. But no, you're going to give us a basketball player right now.
Yeah, because that's what the mainstream audience requires, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
What would Bruno Sammartino bring to the mainstream audience? Nothing.
Again, way more titles than Roman Reigns.
Cross promotion. That's all it is. It's just cross promotion.
No.
They can't help themselves. They cannot help themselves. Every opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fed up with these people. Because it really is about advertising over professional, over what they're doing. Like I said, you have a treasure trove of video and characters and stuff that you could be using for a wrestling video game, or you can go and get Machine Gun Kelly, Tyrese Halliburton. What? Sucks.
But they will then take their custom WWE title belt that they are gifted back to where they normally hang around and expose that company's brand logo to potentially untapped audience members. That's all it is. I know it sounds really sad and cynical, and I'm very sorry to be that guy, but that's what they see it as.
It
WWE,
really
that
is. So when I saw that, they even cut out a whole segment for Raw to do a video on it. You know, so they had, that's why I even wrote it down, because Halliburton did a webcam thing like I'm doing right now to WWE, and like, yeah, I'm in a video game. Oh man, it's cool. I've dreamt about this for the past several years I've been alive. And it's like what? And also, the NBA's fake. Everybody's starting to realize that now, and now they can speak out about it more, not be called ridiculous names and things, because everybody's starting to see it with the NBA draft and everything. Isn't it weird that he's being announced to being in a video game and he's still in the playoffs, even though he beat the Bucks, who were supposedly better than them? They beat the Cavs, who were the number 1 seed in the East, and now they're up 2 games on New York, who's supposedly going to beat them. And Tyrese Halliburton is the best player on their team. Isn't that weird? What a coincidence? Ain't that a coincidence?
That is strange, yeah. So I didn't know that, because I don't follow that.
All 3 teams that or I'm assuming they're, if they end up beating the Knicks, which is still more games, but it's looking pretty good for them. And then imagine they get into the NBA Finals and win the title or whatever. And it's almost like these business deals. It reminds me of when LeBron James signed a $650 million deal with Nike, goes into the season. The Golden State Warriors win 73 games, become like the greatest regular season team of all time, even though it's the 96 Bulls. And then takes on the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James, go up 3-1, never been done, never come back from 3-1, except for with LeBron. And I always look back, especially during that year, I'm like, all of a sudden, Steph Curry forgot how to shoot. Draymond Green got suspended in one of the games. Oh, you got suspended in a championship series, right? These are weird things that happened during that. But also keep in mind, he was just paid damn near $1 billion for a corporation. You really think they were going to let him lose out the gate? Not me. Because I'm way ahead of the curve, Danny, right?
They just had the announcement for, was it Fortnite? Where they had Jay and Silent Bob and Seth Rogen as characters in Fortnite, I think it was. So it's a way of announcing and advertising video games, isn't it? If you have cross-promotion stuff, and it's like, oh, look, isn't it wacky that these characters are now in this thing? And yeah, we're talking about it now, so it's worked to a degree.
The New Day being in Gears of War was one of the weirdest crossovers. All right, what else? Well, we got other news here. Coachman, he's did an interview recently and essentially said that Vince McMahon is pissed at Triple H, and he is not a fan of this booking, to the point where he's not even speaking with him or Steph anymore, and his closest person and out of that whole group is Shane McMahon, and everybody knows Shane McMahon ain't no friend of a Steph O'Mac and a Triple H either. So what do you think? Anything could come of this, you think?
Please tell me Vince thinks there's too many adverts. that would I think you'd have to smack me in the mouth to stop me laughing for a bit. Who knows? Just whenever you just believe any of this crap now with Vince, it's so insane. It could be real, but then also it might not be.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sure it is, because first of all, Coachman is coming out and saying that, and we know he's got ties to people backstage and the higher ups. He was like one of Vince McMahon's boys. By the way, let's tell that story again, because it's one of the greatest stories from a rib from WWE that I've ever heard, where they went to they had Jonathan Coachman arrested. Remember that? For doing whatever, I forget what it was. And then they went to bring him back, and he was so mad, he was like crying because he was so scared. He thought he was really getting arrested.
I want to say he was smoking the herb, but I don't know why I thought that.
Oh, it could
Or
be.
was he just, or was he stood next to somebody that was smoking, and Vince said to the cop that he knew, like, "Oh, go and tell him," or they arrested him for that, and he's like, "No, I didn't do it. I didn't touch any of that stuff." But
he was so mad.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, it's a great story. But yeah, I believe Coach on this. I don't believe that he'll send like T-shirts to Jeffrey Cross in the chat or anything, because that's an old story. But he may win. You may win something from him on his stream, and you may not get it, but that's all right. But I believe him with this.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are suspicious that Triple H may have been the one to let people know about Vince McMahon's extracurricular shitty activities.
Well, that's the thing. That's the key in this story, is that they, him and Steph basically voted him out instead of having his back. So, yeah, I can see that. There seems to be a lot of weird. I just feel it. There's something going on backstage where, and it does involve Triple H. If it's the Rock business, that, there's something to that. There's something to the Vince McMahon stuff, and them. I think it's them taking the company away from him, whether it was right or wrong or whatever. To me, they pretty much stripped it from him.
It's a mutiny, pal. Yeah.
The same way that like the Los Angeles Clippers, like 10 years ago, remember the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers said a bunch of racist stuff in his 20-year-old Asian hoe, like filmed it secretly, put it out there, and then he lost like $1 billion franchise. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it felt like one of those things where it's like, you didn't do anything illegal. Sure, is it bad for your business, especially your business, where you're being super racist to a bunch of black people? That's your product, that you're putting out there. And they were like, they don't want to play for him and this and that. But it felt like these things are being taken away, and it's just an easy way to do it. So that's what I think, and I'm sure it's real. I think Vince is pissed. He wants to be involved in this more than he is.
Oh, Vince would have been pissed if he did every single bad thing everyone has ever accused him of, which some of them I'm sure did happen. But for everything that he's been accused of recently, if he'd have done all of those things and then been kicked out, he'd still be pissed off that someone else is is driving his car, basically. He's not even the passenger in his own car anymore. So he's pissed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nick Khan seems to have even a lot more say than a Vince McMahon would at this point. How about this for a story? Mr. Kennedy wants to have a comeback.
Kennedy.
That was the time I didn't watch that much. So do you have would you want to have him back, first of all, in any shape or form?
I think that, well, not in any shape or form, I wouldn't say against that, but just to come back and be like, oh yeah, this is me returning to the same spot I left. No. If he's still got the charisma and the personality, it'd be good for somebody else, I suppose, but not him being like the main event or having like a proper serious. Yeah. I'm sure he can still do some stuff. I remember in TNA when it was Mr. Anderson again, that was still entertaining. But yeah.
How about Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
Just a test run, see how the crowd reacts or whatever. Yeah, like, again, I didn't know too much about him. I know the whole Mike gimmick coming out of the air and all that. That'd be cool. But he reminds me of LA Knight. He's just an older version of LA Knight to me, in a way. Just the way he sounds and looks.
Yeah. Kennedy, I can sort of like see a bit more of himself in, and what I'm about to say about LA Knight is not a dig whatsoever, because I love LA Knight. But with LA Knight, you can just see a lot of The Rock and a lot of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the amount of energy and charisma that he has. It's just sort of like the approach sometimes. Whereas Kennedy did feel like something a bit newer and fresher. And it's a shame he just like pissed on his own shoes, essentially. And yeah, because he was really good. And it was like, oh yeah, this guy's going to get pushed. He's going to be real big.
And I know another person that's talking about possibly coming back, Maria Kanellis, who's right over my shoulder over here. Her and Mike Bennett, her husband. So she's all for coming back too, of course, but she's going to want Mike Bennett to come with her, which, yeah, why not? I would say give them another go. They're young enough. It's not like they're old people or anything.
As long as it's for him to wrestle and her to valet/manage, because again, like I said about Zelina Vega earlier, some of them have like really good managerial skills and they know how to work the people in the ring and work the audience as well. But then someone gets greedy. It's either they want to be in the ring or someone in management's like, oh, we'd like to see her wrestling, and then it doesn't work, and they can maybe struggle through a match, but it's not their forte. If they're really good at being a manager. Lana is another example of that. Her little situation she had with Rusev, where she came out, she introduced him, brilliant, and then they wanted to see her in wrestling attire. It completely destroyed everything she'd done before. And then what's she doing now? They've split up, haven't they? She's not in wrestling. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe she's still butt banging Bobby Lashley or something. Maybe
the shits.
And it was the other one. Ziggler. Ziggler was the other one. They wrote her into an angle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Man, I forgot about that one.
That was some shit stirring. Just like, oh, what's this? In a marriage we didn't expect, are you? Well, let's see about that.
Imagine if Vince comes back, because all these like our horror stories, like, oh, he did something to Vince or it wouldn't work certain days or didn't want to do certain things. So he basically cuckolded him with Bobby Lashley for like months on TV. But imagine, like, you know how it is, like where people are leaving the company or they want to come back because of the changes in management. Imagine if Vince comes back now again and Aleister Black's there and all these other people, like, they keep going back and forth and going, oh, fuck, he's back.
Didn't that happen with Regal? Didn't Regal leave when Vince was there? And then when Vince left the first time, Regal came back. And then Vince came back. I'm sure that's how it worked. And then Vince went again. But for that brief period, William Regal would have been like, oh, shit. I'll just stay on NXT, keep my head down. Hopefully he won't see me.
So you're trying to avoid certain situations. And every time you get back involved, and you're like, yes, I'm back on like the top show again and all this. And it's like, oh, he's back. Yeah. So, yep. Maria Kanellis Bennett, another thing with her, the greatest moment in Apprentice history, in my opinion. Especially, I only started really watching this Celebrity Apprentice because you know me, I don't mind keeping a trash reality show on in the background. And she was on one season, and she's at the board meeting at the end of the show. And who was there? Who's that cook? That English cook, pretty boy. Sells things on QVC all the time. Can't think of the name right now, but
you've thrown me at pretty boy. I was just going to start naming TV chefs I know.
He's older now, but he's definitely a pretty boy. It's not Gordon Ramsay, not him, but yeah, he sells a bunch.
You don't mean Jamie Oliver?
No.
He's the one that cries about school dinners being unhealthy. Why isn't it healthy? Kids food's meant to be healthy.
Yep, I know him, but no. It doesn't really matter. But the funny part is he was a pretty boy. He's gotten older now, but he's still like, oh, you know, the women love him. And at this point, they do these missions with each other in these teams, and they're around each other for the day, filming and all this stuff. So she just blurts out in the middle of this board meeting, she's like, well, this guy come in when in the middle we're trying to work and stuff and just stinks up our bathroom. Right? And this is where it's, you know, the end of the show, the big fancy moment where they're going to fire somebody or whatever. And Donald Trump's just like, this is disgusting. I can't believe you're speaking like that to me and my children and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, but he came in and he took the biggest crap. And she's like going into it like how he stunk up the whole place. Like, she's just burying the guy on live TV. And I'm like, this is the best. This is the best. So that's the only reason I wanted to come back, because she doesn't care. Like, she's one of those that she will really give it to people. And so don't go stinking up her bathroom anymore, all you handsome chefs. Oh, man. Yep. What other news do I have here? Oh, Zoe Stark tore her leg off almost on Raw. Did you see that clip? I was
No.
watching it, and she literally screamed for Kyrie to like come back, and she come jumping in the frame. She like jumped off the ropes, and she snapped her leg in half, like her knee, and you just could hear her screaming.
No, I didn't see that.
All right,
I'll
man.
check it out later though. I've got to bail now. Thank you very much for having me.
Later.
Enjoy the rest of your show
Yes,
and
I'll
enjoy
talk
the
to you later,
pay-per-views.
man.
Adios.
Bye, man. So, yeah, she tore her leg in half, folks. It was gruesome. It's not fun to look at, not fun to watch, not fun for her, I'm sure. She already has like 2 knee braces, I believe. I think she has 2 messed up knees, unless it's the one she keeps breaking over and over again. But hey, get better. She put out a tweet yesterday. Everybody's looking for her to get better. I mean, she was definitely in some pain. It was gruesome. It was a bad one. So I got what else do I have here? We can keep going if you want. If anybody's even still here, are you guys still there? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go to the store and stuff. Let's sell a little bit, right? I mean, WWE does it. I give you all this awesome content. The least you can do is go get a fanny pack. The very least. Or how about pick up the album? If you like weird electronic music, I do that too. Or for later, bookmark them. Get the QR code here. If you're listening on the podcast, go to Teespring. Go to TikTok. Dr. Huge Music. Check out all the channels I have on YouTube. Every time I put in Dr. Huge Show on YouTube, one word, you got to put in the whole thing, or else it still wants me to go to drugstore. I don't want to go to drugstore YouTube. I don't know what you're trying to do to me. I just want to see my show. Okay? Show up in the search. It would be nice if that happened. Be nice if all these platforms helped your boy out to get the word out about the greatest wrestling, comedy, what have you podcast in the whole universe that has ever existed. That's right, Yeets.
Yeet!
And go follow Danny at dannydamage.co.uk. I think that's what it is. But he didn't have time to to plug, so I'm going to do it for him. But I still have a whole page of notes here. And they're still here. They're still rocking with me. They're still yeeting in the chat. So let's keep it up for a little bit.
Yeet!
Give me 1 minute so I can at least blow my nose, clear my throat, pour a beverage. I'll be right back, and let's give you a minute. A minute? Can you do that? Here, I'll play a song in the meantime. I'll be right back. All right, that's enough. That's all the time I needed, folks. I'm still here. All right, let's get busy. Let's get bitty. Where's my live screen? Almost here. Boom. Look, I'm back. See, we don't take many breaks here. Don't need them. Professionals. Professional analysts, experts, you know the deal.
What?
Let's play some of these clips before I get into this stuff.
Yeet! No yeets.
What do we want to talk about?
We want to talk about The Rock. Do you want to talk about The Rock, everybody? And how basically the last couple of times he's shown up on TV, it's been completely useless. completely meaningless. Can you imagine this guy just taking over our wrestling and he's going to just make a mockery of it? There's nothing coming from this. He's just going to go back to Hollywood. That's it. Go arrest him.
Are you going to arrest the great one?
I would if I could citizens arrest you right now, The Rock. I would. Because what you've done to my pro wrestling, especially through the WrestleMania run and the WrestleMania show, you brought Travis Scott into this world. And now what? I have to take him out? Who has to take him out? Because I'm getting rumors that he's going to be involved in Money in the Bank. I hate you.
It's the shits.
The worst. Get out of my life. Nobody asked for this. But if I need to run into the ring, creepy fan style, I might just do it. And where is it going to be? Las Vegas? Where's Money in the Bank? New Orleans? I don't know. Yeah, maybe I won't. All right. That was just a veiled threat on a boxing ring YouTube. I guess I'm not going to do that. So if Travis Scott comes out there, he's just going to bore everybody to death. Instead, now I'll never be able to save them. They're all just going to be deceased from boredom. I'll try to figure it out, Jean-Claude Van Damme style in that movie Sudden Death. I'll get into the stadium somehow. I'll work my way into the arena and into the wrestling ring to save everybody's life. Not for me, for you guys watching this. And that's why you're retweeting, and that's why you're sharing and subscribing and liking this video at the moment. Some great guy like that. Everybody needs to know this. Everybody needs to figure this out soon. Like this Harley Hudson. Harley, I asked you on the show. It would be polite if you got back to me. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay? What, do you hate black people or something? Is that what it is? Does Lyra Valkyria hate Irish people? Because she doesn't like Conor McGregor, says he doesn't have what it takes to make it in wrestling. Really? She's probably right, though. I mean, this guy, he likes to party. I don't think he's going to have the lifestyle to be able to produce like the old timers did when they were on the smack and the blow and the sticking and the popping and the drinking and the, all that stuff. Bang, more stories. That was a story, by the way. True story. Lyra Valkyria. Everybody seems to be not upset about it because everybody knows that to be the truth. Yes. And Goldberg, I expected him to show up at WWE Backlash during that god-awful Pat McAfee Gunther match. Because, I mean, was it really that bad? I don't know. I wasn't watching that closely. Because I don't care about Pat McAfee. I knew he was going to lose, and they were going to get there somehow, and they did. And now Goldberg is talking about his last match, which is most likely going to happen now. It's Saturday Night Live main event in July. Not this one. Not tonight. July. So in a couple more months, he'll probably be taking on Gunther, because who else is he going to take on? That's been the rumor since the dawn of man, was that Gunther is going to take on Goldberg for the last match. So that's probably how it's going to be. No rest in peace. He will rest in peace after this match. So let's do it properly. Hugrom. Thank you. Very loud in my ear today. This Undertaker. And there's the Goldberg chance. Let's give you some Goldberg for the podcast listeners. All right, we did it. That was for you, Goldberg. Also, that Georgia helmet back there, signed by William Goldberg III himself, the master of the spear. But then again, we do have a new master with Braun Breaker, so Braun's taking the title from you, bro. Maybe he'll take on Braun Breaker, spear for spear. Everybody thinks it's going to be Gunther, and it's going to be Braun Breaker. Let's go. I like that better. Gunther's been in enough goofy-ass matches with Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. He's losing all these bums. He has to wrestle Pat McAfee in his 80-pound head. Yeah. So we're done with that. NXT, their Tampa tapings for this week, not the pay-per-view, the actual show. I guess it was like a double booking because, we got Saturday Night Main Event tonight in Tampa. So having multiple shows in a town may work in some places like Boston, Philadelphia, New York, and stuff like that. Chicago and, other places like that. But probably not Tampa, when it's nice out and, there are hot chicks and things there and not so many fat people, right, Scott Steiner?
He's fat!
So they got other things to do, like have sex with hot people, unlike us up in the Northeast. And they couldn't sell. They sold 1,700 tickets. I guess that wasn't enough. 1,700 seems like a lot to me. I had 1,700 viewers to my latest short on my YouTube. It was amazing. So the most ever, I think, in the internet. Go check them out. That's right. Subscribe, follow, like, all that stuff, right? Stop making me say it. But that wasn't enough for WWE having 1,700 people be live at a place for you. But maybe it was the way it looked. We got NXT on TV now. Can't have it look empty, bro. Can't have it look like AEW in 2024, bro. We got to keep it looking like WWE at all times. So, it looks like next week's show is going to be taken back to the PC in Orlando. And one of those days, your boy's going to be there. I have frequented Florida many times, especially the Orlando area. I know what it's all about, and I will show up there eventually, go to Full Sail, and I'll be on the set with all the other marks. So that's a story. Also, did you hear that The Rock stinks? And everything he did this week was, this year was completely meaningless. I know I said that before, but just want to reiterate that point. While he's on the screen, if I could. Where are you, Rock? Little Rocky. Don't tell. He's not even here. You got to be kidding me. Oh, no, he is. We got The Rock. Look, there's The Rock, everybody. The baby Rock. Imagine a gimmick of a baby Rock. That would be cool. Instead of like crying and throwing a fit, he could just be, cutting really, really loud promos like he does, talking in the third person and things.
Of course, jabronis.
Yeah, of course. Be like, do you need your bottle, baby Rock?
Of course, jabronis.
Do you need me to pick you up and burp you?
Of course, jabronis.
Then I'm like, you're punished. No baby bottle for you tonight.
Are you going to arrest the great one?
Mm-hmm. You're going to call the authorities on the baby Rock. So, yeah, that's, that version of the Rock would be 10 times better than the real one right now. This Hollywood guy that like goes and makes all these bad movies. And, the movies are pretty bad. They're pretty bad. I was going to say they're pretty good, but you know what? My mind won't even go there because I'd be lying to myself and the audience. And I'm not trying to do that, okay, baby Rock?
Trailer park trash!
I know. Yeah. Now he's getting upset. Don't worry. I'll be in with your bottle in a minute. So, yeah, I listen, some people have too much money, okay? Maybe it's The Rock. Maybe he needs to give some to Dr. Huge. Because it's all about balance. Right? That's what we learned in Star Wars. So it's all about the balance in the Force and in the financials. The Rock. You got a little too much money. You got like special replica belts for yourself. You give it to Muhammad Ali's daughter so she can give it to you and things or something, or his widow or somebody. You know, you got too much money. It's like he was sired, right? He was knighted by the queen. She placed the strap over both shoulders and then finally picked his right shoulder to put it on. Talking about the baby Rock, by the way, if you're just tuning in right now. So, yep, covered that. Roman Reigns. Have you heard this story? Roman Reigns, this guy's cousin or family member or whatever, he's going to be in Hollywood too. That's why we haven't seen him lately. He's out there trying to be Hollywood. He's trying to be cool and all that stuff. So he might be Akuma. Do you know who Akuma is? If you're watching this, you better know who Akuma is. Because he was just in Tekken recently. He's a long time street fighter. Been around street fighting for years. I don't see it. I don't see how he could become Akuma other than it's a good role for him because Akuma doesn't really speak. He just grunts. So, yeah, Roman Reigns ain't the greatest actor in the world. I don't know if you noticed, but his big dog stunk. And then even with the whole pumping him up to be the tribal chief, that was really Paul Heyman and Sami Zayn and Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso. And you see what I'm saying? That was really the outside cast that made that what it was. It made it as special as what. Vince McMahon even. Let's give him his props. So I'm not buying the Hollywood Roman Reigns deal. I didn't see him in Tango and Cash or whatever they called that. Hobbs and Shaw, right? I didn't see that. I heard Roman Reigns was in it. He probably did a hoo-ah. I think that's what he did. And that was it. But he's going to be Akuma and do the spinny kicks in the air? Is that what you're going to do, Roman Reigns, instead of wrestling on my TV? Do you think that's a good idea? Okay. I don't think it's a good idea, but if you think that's a better idea than wrestling every 3 months on a TV, go for it. You gonna dye your hair red and chop all your hair off? Wear a wig? Yep. Gonna go to Diddy parties now too? Gonna eat babies? Is this the plan? Might be.
You can't wipe my ass.
Yeah, John Cena's a little bit better, I think. He's that's why his career is going the way it is. The Rock a lot better than that. That's why his career is going the way his is going. Are we really seeing Roman Reigns all of a sudden get this like charisma bomb and like become like another A-list celebrity like those two? I think not. Okay. Another story for you. I got tons of them. We're going through all of them. You're going to sit here and you're going to listen to this, whether you like it or not.
What do we want to talk about?
We're going to talk about now Hobbs and Shaw. I just love the name Hobbs and Shaw. Till this day, I'll try to write Gunna. I try to swipe it in my text, and it always comes up Hobbs because I wrote Hobbs once like 10 years ago. I hate technology. Except AI. I love you, AI, right? Right? Don't kill me in the future. Thank you. Just merge with me if you got to give me a choice. Just merge. I'm one of the good ones, all right? Thank you. I'll let you do whatever you want to do. You want to go into outer space and tamper with things out there? And all right. Leave me to my devices then. So Cody Rhodes deletes his nickname that he probably gave himself, called the quarterback, off of his social medias. And there's a lot of speculation about this. He's supposed to be coming back, blah, blah, blah. He's not the man right now. He doesn't have the title. If anybody's the quarterback, that would be Jonathan H. Cena, right? I would think so, because he's got the main deal. And Cody Rhodes, that nickname you gave yourself, the quarterback, so cringe. It is so cringe. I can't even stand it. So thank God you deleted it, first of all, because now at least this is a step in the right direction. But just doing that oh man. And he just always wears suits. I see the Sleaze sent me a picture this week of Cody Rhodes, I don't know, at Disneyland or Universal Studios or something on a ride. And he's in a suit on a ride at Disney World. Why are you always in a suit? Can't trust guys like this that are always in suits. 3-piece suits on a ride. Okay. So I'm telling you, everything's upsetting me this week. I don't know why. All this stuff is annoying. The news is annoying. Regular news, pro wrestling news. How about this little thing that's been going on the past few weeks? I'm seeing these pro wrestlers out here showing pictures of themselves when they were like 15, 16 years old, first getting into wrestling. You think that's a good idea? Is that a good idea? Probably not. The creeps loved it, though. Me being one of them. Thank you. Right? No, but really, that's a good idea. You think you're showing, okay. You're asking for it. The Wyatt Six came back this week, or last night to be specific, and they got involved in the big championship match between Fraxium and the Street Profits, which is a weird time to show up. So it tells me that they're involved with the tag team division, which is actually pretty high up there in terms of SmackDown, because they've been doing a lot of main event business with the tag teams on SmackDown. 3-hour show. Another news note, this 3-hour show we thought was going to go back to 2 possibly. Nope. It's staying at 3 hours.
It's the shits.
Terrible. Nobody wants this. I guess the only ones that do want it would be the USA Network. They want 3 hours. They want 3 hours of advertisements. And most of us are already just watching the highlights. I watch some of these shows, but again, I'm watching it more like it's background noise at this point, unless something pulls me in. Like the triple threat last night again. Shout out to Aleister Black, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura. The most entertaining thing on the show from last night. Yep. What else do I have for you? Nope. Not going to talk about that. Raw was terrible. Judgment Day went from Cope to Roxanne Perez. She's not a member of Judgment Day, but she was seen back there trying to give chicken nuggets to Dom and ingratiate herself. Is that how you say it? She ingratiated herself to the Judgment Day with chicken nuggets inside of a like a Christmas gift box, a clothing box. Not even cooked. Is that how you ladies cook these days? You take raw chicken nuggets and you put them in a gift box? I think it is. Pretty sure that is how they cook these days. And then they're like, what? It's not good? I'm never cooking again then. That's like, okay, I see what you're doing. I get it. Yep, so that happened. Everybody's got a chain now. Seth Rollins got a dope-ass Seth Rollins chain. Jey Uso got a dope-ass Yeet chain. And of course, Carmelo Hayes has one of the greatest chains probably of all time with the big Andre the Giant chain, which represents his win when he got that Andre the Giant memorial huge-ass trophy deal. But he's not going to carry around that like a nerd, not like Noam Dar and NXT carrying around that stupid trophy. He's going to get himself a nice Andre piece. Makes a lot of sense. A lot of you people talking trash on Carmelo Hayes in The Miz. It's good. Don't talk trash on it. We don't want that to go away. We know what's going to come of it, right? The Miz is going to turn on him at some point. He's starting to become the leader of the group. He's the veteran with the rook, if you will. But we all know Carmelo Hayes is a boss, okay? He's going to be the next Shawn Michaels, the black version of Shawn Michaels. That's what we're going for, okay? I've seen it from the beginning. Unblock me, Shawn Michaels, on Twitter. I see what you're doing. Right? And the Miz is going to bring him to the promised land. You guys just can't be so fickle. And you have to understand what's going on here, that this is what's best for business. All right? There's not a lot of spots to be had, if you've noticed. I've got 1 million hours of shows, and they're throwing all these wrestlers. They're buying wrestlers from every country in the world. So there's not a lot of spots. The Wyatt Six need their spots. Carmelo Hayes needs his. They're doing a lot of hate. There was a lot of hate on Karrion Kross a year ago, right? You guys are all changing your tune, and they still did nothing with him. They're still doing nothing with him. So come on, guys. Paladin says the Wyatt Six needs a good storyline, or it will be like when they were on Raw all over again. Exactly. Give them something. You can't put them up against the Final Testament because they already released half of the Final Testicle. They cut the final testicle off. And I don't know. Is it me, or is it really the truth with, say, the Karrion Kross promo we did after WrestleMania there with Everybody Loves? And he had that line where he was talking about, he's like, Scarlett comes up with stuff and they go, no, that's too good. That's for them over there. Like, they get the really good stuff, right? CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Like, they get you got to be at the top of the card to get the good stuff. Why does it work like that? Everybody should get the good stuff. Everybody. Don't you want people talking about the things that are going on other than your main card or your main event card? Don't you? Don't you want to make money for everybody and from everybody? Why is the business like this? And that is a top-down deal. That means still in the psyche of the Triple H's and the people in creative, we can't have good things for the lower card. So that tells me every time I see the lower card stuff pop up, I don't need to watch it. I'll turn on something else then. Because that's not where the good stuff is. You don't need the good stuff for that. So instead of making a good 2.5 hour show, good 3 hour show, a good 4 hour pay-per-view, you can only have an hour of it be good. Oh, we can't use that stuff unless we can use it for them. And they're already busy. So you can't do something cool. See how ass backwards this is, Trips? Because him saying it in the promo doesn't necessarily make it true, but let's all be real. Can we all live in reality for a minute? We kind of know that's the truth. All right? We know that's the truth. And William's back. All right, so I can be funny again. I wasn't funny there for a little bit, but I'll try to be now because William's back. Thank you. Also has his own channel. Go check it out. Feel free to tell the chat. I won't be mad. People get mad if you do that stuff. No links. No chat. Well, you can throw a link in there. I'll let my people do what they want. But all the rest of yous, got to kiss my ass first, Vince McMahon style. Right in the middle of the ring. Take my pants down, you kiss my booty. And then I'll let you promote. On my shit. What I built. Okay? Right. I did listen to your show, though, William. I do like it. And I'm not even in the blues stuff, but it was interesting. So congratulations for that. You're not just another one of these wishy-washy show people out here. You're actually doing something you know, and you're talking about something you know about, and you're going for it. Good. That's how you do it. The Blues Doctor recommends. Go check it out, everybody. And what else do we have? Well, I complained about this. I complained about that. Looks like everything's getting marked up here. Come on, kiss my ass. That's the best Vince McMahon I can do. I got to find some comedians out here that can do voices, because I can't do voices. But if you can do voices, maybe we need Vince McMahon calling you, right? If you catch my drift. Litman could do a great Vince McMahon. Where's Litman? Litman needs to come back into all our lives. The old school Hugen people remember him. He did a great Vince. And check this out. New episode this comes out next Wednesday, everybody. The Blues Doctor recommends. Yep. I think we did. We covered just about everything. Yeah. Even the stuff I didn't mark off. Like Roman Reigns becoming Akuma, which is just nuts. Follow me on TikTok. I've been doing some gaming vids on there. A couple of my buddies have been hitting me up lately. They want to do some gaming streams and get together, and, you know, we go and we goof around and all that business. So you won't have to look at my mug the whole time. So I think that's it. I got a new outro video, so stay tuned for that. And maybe I'll come back tomorrow. We do have a very long weekend, this Memorial Day weekend. Thank you to everybody that shares this video, subscribes to the YouTube channel. That's where we need it. We're slowly growing on there. It could be faster. It would be nice it'd be faster, but you know, thank you to everybody that shows up for the live streams, the chats, the paladins of the world, the coaches, the William Robinsons, Jeffrey Cross out here with Philly Sports Pride, all the rest, everybody on X and Rumble. Thank you for stopping in. And we did it. We getting up damn near to 200 people on today's show. So good work, you guys, and good work to me. And we're going to keep it up. All right, we're going to keep these the numbers are going to consistently grow. We're never stopping, just like Puff Daddy. All right, till next time, folks. Have a good Saturday night main event. We'll talk to you later.